Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion. I am also not ready. What do you know? Been such busy, such craziness, such fun times, but you know what? It's Friday, and you know what Friday means? Really dry lips is what Friday means. Wait, what? That's not what Friday means. Friday means it's Community Day on our channel. So later in the stream, after I'm done getting everything set up for the stream, I will be inviting anyone who might have any discussions that they want to talk about with the community together using your voice on Discord. But I will have an official invite shortly. So many pop-ups from Discord now. So many pop-ups when you try to do a thing. Okay, today might actually be a short stream because once again fell into a situation where we are being pressured to produce a lot in a short amount of time. So hopefully we'll still be able to have a lot of fun together. That's our song. My setup is still reversed from what it has been. It doesn't really matter as long as it still works out in the end. But the latest update for OBS is not letting me select my secondary monitor as the display capture device. It's just odd. It's just odd. Okay. I got Flyman Man open over there in case we don't have anyone that stops in that wants to have a discussion. And chat is there. OBS is there. Dukasoft is there. Hello, Dukasoft. What is it? Oh, it's a settling spot. It's a settling spot. Ooh. What's that? Hucky ducky. May you have gravy. You know what? I didn't even do a mic check. And I do seem kind of quiet. So I'll move closer and still not picking me up very well. But that's okay. Hopefully it's loud enough. It's at least in the yellow, negative 15-ish, actually negative 20 on average. Maybe up just a little bit. I'll just try not to laugh or cough or anything that is sudden noise. It's fine on Dukasoft's end. I just like having my volume, at least the meter for my volume, show that it's at the same volume for each of the streams. That way the YouTube recording that I have not posted from Wednesday's stream, for example, will or did I? Anyway, the all of the videos will be at an equilibrium volume, and you don't have to adjust the volume up and down, and it's consistent and all of that fun stuff. Let's see, did day 94 get posted? Content, you are day 93. You know what? I'm gonna do that now. Cause oh man, oh no, I restarted my computer and I forgot to log into the bot. So yeah, so many things. Stream, bot, connect with Twitch, join channel. Okay, the bot should be joining. Oh yes, but the Ducasoft bot is definitely working. Ducasoft bot is always on. Ducasoft bot never rest. Ducasoft bot is the best. And that's my song. See, I did a B B A. Anyway, bot's back. So I am posting the most recent VOD in a couple seconds. Give me video producer. I need a thumbnail. Use my magical thumbnail creating program. Why is that assigned to me? That seems like a bud thing. What? I need to close this. I need to close this. I need to open this. This is a good screen, isn't it? Isn't it? Anyway, thank you as always, Ducasoft. You are an amazing being, just an amazing. 94, save, or just 9. Sure, 9 works. 94. Oh, my keys are stuck. There we go. Control S. Do you guys ever have that happen on your computer where you are just doing things that involve using Alt or Control, and then suddenly one of the keys gets stuck and you don't even have sticky keys turned on? You guys. Okay, thumbnail created. Video. So if you guys are ever wondering whether the video has been posted to YouTube, the way you can tell is if I have changed out the VOD on Twitch to have a thumbnail, then chances are the video was on its way to getting posted to the YouTubes, such as in right now. Okay, day 94, financial management tracker project. Needs a description on what we did on Wednesday, which is we completed the transaction history refresh work and started on a new side issue, not in GitHub, where a WPF app using the Blazor Web View control and WindowChrome, customizable title bar stuff, has an issue with resize grip area. We set up a new WPF project, added the Blazor Web View control, and we're able to see and the WindowChrome, and we're able to see the issue right at the end of the stream. Hopefully we'll be able to tackle a little bit of that today, but it all just depends on the conversation that we have, if we have any conversations today with the community. But on community day, I do try to pay more attention to chat, and if you guys have questions or anything related to technology that you're working in or that you just want to talk about, then I try to respond to that quickly and more attentively and not be distracted by the code. That's code. Oh my goodness. Let me edit this. Oh, hey, cool. I think they might have done an update on Twitch where when you do export to your favorite other video repository service, that it no longer uses the encoded HTML in the description. I had to do a lot of cleanup, so I've been copying and pasting the description that I add because it'll replace, apostrophes with the HTML encoded apostrophe, brackets, slashes, etc. Okay. So, done. Okay, so that's going to take a minute to get to YouTube, and then I can edit the description, or not the description, but put it in the right playlist and then tell it to be public. So that's done. I'll put this over here just so that I can watch it for when it shows up. And it has already shown up, so I'll go ahead and give it a thumbnail. Thumbnail. Delete. Public. And of course, it's not going to be public until it's fully processed on the YouTubes. Get rid of game. Language is English. English US. Date. It's Wednesday. And finally, category is science and technology. Shave. Okay, so that will be live on the YouTube, not live, but you know what I mean. That will be updated on the YouTubes very shortly. Hopefully I'll remember to do today's before the end of the day so that it'll be available tomorrow sometime after 12:30 or whenever we end the stream 24 hours after. Okay. What else do I need to do to set up? We have the screen showing, so let me at least show some code once I figure out which display device it's trying to use. And we really can't switch to... Actually, you know what's funny? It actually only selects the secondary monitor. It doesn't use the main monitor. Oh. Interesting. I'll show you what I mean. But yeah, let's go to this scene. So here's my OBS, and here is my display screen. And so it picks up both of my monitors, but it doesn't let me select the other one. It's always using this one. So weird. So weird. Well, anyhow, that's done. Okay, what else do I have open? I have the Discords. I am currently in the stream room voice channel. Where is the audio outputting to from you, Discord? To the Realtek digital output, which is what is coming through on the stream for our guests. ¿Qué más? I think that's everything that I needed to do to set up for the day. Good doll. Close, close. Nope, still had a couple things to close. I do so much research throughout the day. I mean, what developer doesn't, I guess? The ones that know what they're doing and don't question themselves every 2 minutes. Anyway. So, happy Community Day, everyone. Welcome to another one line of code. When last we spoke, we were talking about the project that I'm working on for my job, for my actual work day, my normal day job, and how I was the project itself is a WPF app that uses Blazor for its UI. So I set up a sample using our existing project for this stream, the financial management project that Dukasoft so kindly put a link to, which there's a GitHub link in chat. And I took the UI that we're using there, which is Blazor, and I put it into a WPF app so that we can just kind of see the issues that I'm running into. And it's Mojo Fawad. Awesome. Please be safe when you drive. I set up the WPF app, added made the changes to the CS proj, is what I meant to say. Which is where? Oh, here. Okay, so the changes that I made to CS proj are change the project type to SDK.razor, so just added .razor on the end there. Added the use WPF, no I didn't, that's been there. Added a reference to the Web View WPF. I had the 6.0 version. Hi here, I'm Dukasoft. Nice to meet you. Okay, Barteki. So then I just updated it using Package Manager. I also added the references to the Blazor UI project and the shared client stuff, because as a desktop app, this thing is going to be utilizing the API services. So the way that the application gets data from the server, since we're running on a client machine, is by doing an API call to an endpoint, and then that endpoint just sends back JSON. And of course, we send JSON to it or query string. But it's the same thing that we use in the Web View. Sorry, the WASM version. This is the Web View version. So that's just how I have my project structured. I have a client-side library that does all of the API calls for us just by us accessing a service method. And the next thing that I did was I did all of the dependency injection setup so that we can have access to those client services, as well as the state management needed for the UI and localizations needed for the UI. Added it to app.xaml's resources called services. And in main window, we got those services from the current application that's running, which gives us the instance of app.xaml.cs at runtime. And then I put it in the resources for main window because the Blazor Web View control, accesses those services to do the dependency injection for the running Blazor app within, or Blazor control, which can be a whole entire app or just a single component. It doesn't really matter what you put in here, but we are using the entire UI project from the root app.razor. Anyway, we are providing all of our service dependency injection using that services that we set up in app.xaml. So then the other thing that I did in order to look like our desktop application was I want to be able to customize the title bar at runtime to include the background color, the title color, the foreground color. And actually it was just those two things. And surprisingly, you can't just do that out of the box with a WPF app. You have to do that by still adding a WindowChrome, except in Windows 11. In well, I guess WinUI 3. But in Windows 11, you have access to the title bar API. And so it's just as easy as saying extends content into title bar, and then targeting the title itself, changing that out by using this API, this Windows API. But anyway, for now we're using the WindowChrome, which has been around since like 2008, 2011. I don't know how long, but this approach has been the way to go for a long time. So I added that and put on some properties for the WindowChrome just to give the window, you know, the same type of styling that you would get from any other modern Windows application. So rounded corners, the height of the title bar area, and the resize border thickness is going to be important for us because that's the thing that I want to talk about. I need this thing to show up here. Scroll over here. If I push this button and then this button, that goes there. And if I make this wider this way, almost there. Okay. Why? No. Leave this screen up. Goodness griefus. There. Okay. Ooh. Dismiss. Yeah, I'm definitely going to end the stream early today. I need to prepare some interview questions to help out with the technical interview. That I was invited to yesterday at the very end of the day. And it's like, you don't know how much time it takes to prepare that helping out with an interview takes for a consultant that is full-time on a project, on a client project. It just takes away so much time. Like, I know that I'm streaming and all, and I use 2 hours of my day to stream on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I still give the client 8 hours, and this stuff is cutting into that time because I'm not doing it outside of work hours. Anyway, moving on. Here's the magic of what's happening currently. So we have this WindowChrome customizable title bar. We have our Blazor Web View for our UI. However, when we do this and run the app, so right now it should be running this app as a WPF application, we can see that we have the icon and the title that I set up here in our replaced title bar. I guess I forgot to mention that part where when we do the WindowChrome, we need to create the content of the window ourselves to include the title bar area. We'll do the captions next. So the captions are the minimize, maximize, restore, and close buttons. And then the main content. And I'm doing that by using a border control. So I use a border, and then in that border, I'm using a grid with 2 rows. The first one being our title bar, the second one being the content. First row is height auto, second one is height everything else. And for the first row, I'm using another grid that I'm giving 2 columns. And the first column will take up as much space as it takes up. The second column will take up whatever is remaining. Or no, it'll take up, the first column will take up any remaining space. The second column will take up however much space it takes up. The first column is the stack panel of our icon and our title bar. And the second column is the captions area, which we have not added stuff to yet, but here is our stack panel that will be our captions area, which will be the minimize, maximize, restore, and close. Then there is the second row of the main grid, which is our content. And this black area is actually part of the UI. It's the title top navigation, or just top bar, I think is what I normally call it, where I haven't put any content in there yet, but that's not WPF doing that or anything like that. It's just our app. Okay. So anyway, we have the window, and the thing that I want to point out, the thing that I'm having an issue with that I need to find out how to resolve is normally when you have a window in Windows, or actually just any visual operating system, your resize grip area is big enough so that, like, if you're somewhere in the middle of the page and you're like, man, I need to make this taller, it's pretty easy to get to without needing to fiddle around too much for all of your resize handles. Especially the corner ones, they actually seem to have a lot more space. However, in a WPF app with a WindowChrome, with a web view control on top of it, you have like a 1, maybe 2 pixel. It really just looks like 1 pixel space. Like, I turn my mouse into having this precision mode. So I have a button that turns on precision mode for my mouse so that it moves a lot slower. But when you don't have it in precision mode, it's kind of hard to line up with the edge. And then if you have another app underneath, it's even worse. Like, just trying to get to it. And so what I wanted to know is if any of you have experience with this. Trackball. Definitely. And if you do have experience with this, do you know of any good fixes, workarounds? Yeah, I've used a trackball since university because I had a laptop and used that to take all of my notes in. So this would have been back around 2000, between 2000 and anyway, early 2000s. Let's just say that. And so it was just easier to be able to have a mouse that I can put wherever I want and it'll still work without needing a flat surface or at least something that the laser can bounce off of. Because I really didn't like using a touchpad. Okay, so I got rid of the Blazor Web View control. So I would like to know, if I do that, do I get my resize area back? I do. So it's definitely the web view control that's covering the resize handle area. So what can I do about that? Is it as easy as setting this to WindowChrome.isHitTest visible in Chrome to false? That would be nice. So what this thing does is in the top, in the top bar, you typically are not able to interact with any of the items that you manually put in this non-client area in this top bar And so in order to be able to interact with it, you need to make it hit testable when you have the WindowChrome on. So like if I was going to recreate this drag functionality, if it didn't give it back to me just by adding a top bar, then I would make it hit test visible and then rig up all of the on drag and everything else that's needed to get it to drag correctly. And you'll see us do that when we set up the close, maximize, minimize buttons and the context menu for left clicking on the icon. But the answer is no. For the client area, for the area that we control, if we set is hit test visible to false, we still have the same behavior. So what about true? And I'm not actually getting hot reload, so I have been stopping and restarting the app. And I wonder if I'm not getting hot reload because I keep doing Control F5 instead of just regular F5. Okay, here we go. Nope. Man. Okay, so that's my question for the day. Does anyone have any thoughts or ideas on what I could possibly do to restore the resize handle area? I guess one place that we could ask is ChatGPT. Which I have asked before, and I got very few answers. I'm looking for, here it is, the question that I already asked. Yeah, is window border dot window size or resize thickness a, let me finish being able to see this, a thing. So that is right here. But yes, that's definitely something that I wish worked. And it does work. So again, if I get rid of the Blazor Web View control and close the app, and I'm gonna push F5 to see if hot reload will work. So without the Blazor Web View control sitting on top of the edge, you can definitely see it working. Like I have at least 3 pixels. Okay, do it then. I have at least 3 pixels for the, or I guess like 3 mouse movements. I don't even know if those are pixels or what they are, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. Or I guess I would assume 8 pixels since we have 8 up there. So if I change this to something crazy like 32, then you can definitely see that it's picking up immediately. So my scroll is starting way over here, 32 pixels in. But as soon as I have the Blazor Web View control in there, my keyboard stopped working. That's fun. Okay, as soon as I have the Blazor Web View control in there, which happened immediately, then it covers it up. So Dukasoft's next one is, how about padding for the Blazor Web View control? So if I added padding to it, which I don't think that there's there is padding, then that would be something like 8 on the left, 0 on top, 8 on the right, 8 on bottom. And that would end up looking like no visible change, unless it's just that I need to restart after adding padding. Oh, and I'm also going to change this back to 8 because this also affects the title bar. And so I can move it over like this. When you change the resize border thickness, the title bar will always get it because it's not getting covered by any of our custom Blazor Web View controls. So I'm not able to drag the title bar around. Okay, if I add padding, it has no visible change and definitely still can't get access to it. However, if we change that padding to a margin, then we get behavior that we want, where we do now have access to it, but it looks terrible. even if I change the border on it to match the color, especially if you have a gradient. But if I change the border to match the color of the application, it's still pretty bad. Ship it. So yes, these are definitely things that I tried and they just don't work for one reason or another. Hello, Xcoding. Happy Friday. So at present, that one is not viable. What about breakfast at Tiffany's? So suspenseful. What about a transparent background? Relative units are adding a background. What do you mean? So as mentioned, we can definitely have the margin, and then we could have a background on the border, which is how I think I did it before. That's the same color, same color as the app's background. And then of course, change it based off of hello, border color, border collie. Maybe the background needs to be on. Oh, it's because I specified it twice. There it goes. Okay, so this is what it would look like. But again, I have this space between the left edge of the window and the actual content, which I could design around that, but it looks not good in my opinion. If you look at modern applications, you'll see that their content goes all the way to the edge. And oh, okay. Thanks for the thoughts though. The thing that you can notice about some applications, not Visual Studio, because, oh, maybe Visual Studio, is that the left and right and bottom drag handles start outside of the client area. So there was this other option that I saw. And this one baffles me. Let's give this thing a name. Call it window placed window. And in main window, we can target replaced window. And I said we can target replaced window because we gave it a name. Can't we? Yes, we can. It just needed to rebuild. Okay. So we can target replaced window, and we can do something that is setting the property called non-client frame edges. And like I showed yesterday, or Wednesday, if we try to do that here to modify the property, I haven't been able to get it to work like this, but I'm going to try again. And we try to set the non-client frame edges to left, right, bottom, and it's like you can't set more than one in there. I wonder if the pipe works for a bitwise OR. Okay, so it's angry at this because it's like that's an invalid property. You can't do that. Can I use a plus sign? No. Okay, so it's like you can't. No. However, the reason that I know you can set more than one is because when I read the document comment on non-client edge, which is where? Yeah, okay. Well, here's one. Hello, Thindle. You help me first. It has flags on it, which means that you can have more than one value. And so I was like, sure, let's do left, right, and bottom. And you know the funny thing? This works just fine, by the way. Left, right, and bottom. Are you gonna actually lunch? Not for accumulating flags. That checks to see if a flag that you specify is in the list of flags for it. All right. I will let you in. I will let you in. I will let you in to the call. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Where's Discord? Hey, Discord. Hey, LiveCoding.
Howdy.
Howdy.
All right. I'm just, don't forget I said howdy at the beginning as a joke.
Yes.
That's what I say, and I can't stop. Like, you make a bad face as a kid and it'll freeze like that forever. How it is with me and the word howdy, greeting people. So anyway, howdy.
This is setting a value using bitwise OR, not comparing values as to whether something has a flag or not.
Oh, gross. Yeah, the bitwise ORs. It's fine. It's correct. I'm grossed out. I feel like, I don't know. I don't have anything useful to say. What are we going to replace it with? We can all program in Lisp, and then it'll all be symbolic, and it'll be perfect, and then we won't have anything useful. People do useful stuff in this, just no one I know,
And yes, Thindle. And yes. But I don't know. I would love to do something useful with this if it actually worked. But it's not working. It's actually not even running anymore. It's probably crashing here. No reference exception. Replaced window. Oh, because I need to initialize first so that this thing exists. WPF is like WTF.
Yeah, I was about to say it sounded like a swear the way you said it, and then I was like, well, fair enough.
Wait,
Fair
why does
enough.
this thing
By the
still
way,
have
I
the
am
margin?
working, but I am patching servers, so I have to not destroy the
You
cluster.
remember.
But so I will be distracted the next 1 minute. But I'm actually curious. I would like to see what you're doing, and then I'll comment. And of course, it's
Yeah,
all wrong.
because
We all
I
know
need
that.
help with it. I'm really struggling.
Oh, you actually do. Hello, Xcoding.
But yeah, Thindle also wants help. So I said today's community day and that I would focus on the community more than my own issue, rather than trying to sap the community for my purposes. So Thindle, if you would like, I am ready to take your situation that you would like help with. Dukasoft is trying to distract you.
Sorry, I'm not even watching your screen or chat. Don't worry. Chat doesn't exist, right? We've established that. Only people who can say words with the audio exist. Chat is
That's
like a
not my
third-class
requirement. That's
citizen.
your requirement.
That's true. I'm saying while the call is running, though, we don't believe y'all exist. Regular times, chat's appreciated, I guess. But while there's, there are people on the call, then that no longer exists. That's my policy.
I mean, it is difficult for me to keep up with chat when I am talking with people live.
Well, yeah, and I found some of those messages from like 5 minutes ago on previous calls or maybe 10 minutes. Who knows how long ago? Anyway.
And it's
Good.
like, hey, are you still here even?
Yeah. So, anyway. So Thendall's not serious about wanting to do something. Oh wow.
Thindle, why Thindle this? Parent and make you my parent. I made both of those transparent.
And I am watching the stream on a computer, so I will have not too delayed. It'll be like 0 delay basically.
Okay.
So I'll be, when I'm criticizing, it'll be live.
It'll be live. Coding.
Oh, excellent.
But yeah, I didn't want to distract you while you were rebuilding clusters, you said?
Patching, which means I take one node down in an Elasticsearch cluster at a time, and they're backups, but basically I have to assume every time I touch one of these data nodes that I cannot recover it, and so I have to be careful about...
It just makes you be more mindful of what you're doing.
Oh, I'm mindful. Like. I can't even talk about anyway. Yes, I am mindful. We'll just say it that way. But I am hyper aware of potential problems. Meanwhile, while I'm patching, I have to sit and wait for it. Yeah. Also, we could automate this, but that terrifies me a little bit. So.
I want to automate everything that we do on my team, but I don't have the time to do it, so we're just going to keep doing it the way we always have, or they always have, I guess.
Yeah. And you can pick one thing, because see, that's kind of the deal. Like today, I'm patching Elastic because we haven't automated that kind of thing. And by the way, there is for certain types of patching. The correct answer is we're running on Ubuntu, and Ubuntu sells a thing called Ubuntu Advantage, which will patch without reboots. So as long as you're not patching your application, you just need OS patches. You can just sign up for Ubuntu Advantage. It will patch your servers, and obviously you're paying some money. But we just haven't bothered checking that out yet. Anyway, so I was looking at that, and then my boss was like, "Hey, this other service we have is slow. I want to set up auto scaling for it." And I was like, "Or I can just double the number of servers we have." And that, like, I'm extremely like that. You can. That's probably the best explanation of why I think I'm effective. I will not talk about where I work.
Right.
Why I'm effective at this job is because we have like a really complicated solution that we could do, and it would perfectly solve the problem. And I'm like, or this is the first time we've needed to scale up. How about let's just double the number of servers?
If it's something that isn't really needed, but like, are you also considering, or not you, was the person asking for auto scale considering scaling up and down based on need?
Yes, because we were running allegedly three servers, and he was saying, hey, we could scale down and scale up, and if we get the scaling right, we won't have to, the customer contacted us, said this thing is behaving slow. It's like a send data to a service, and sure enough, it has been running slow. So anyway, I'm just going to push the ball forward, like double the number of servers. Let's see what happens. These are not giant servers, and we'll get back to it. Just kind of juggle the ball, throw it back in the air, see if it comes back down, or if double the load is acceptable. So anyway, or if double the servers are acceptable. So
Right.
There we go. All right. But I am here to actually look at what you're doing, and I'm not sure. You set some stuff to transparent, and then I stopped paying attention while I patched the server.
So the main thing that's happening is when I have a Blazor Web View control inside of a WPF app, I lose my resize grip area.
Resize?
It turns into
okay, that thing?
1 pixel. Yep. When I have a customizable title bar using WindowChrome.
Isn't that the default Windows behavior? So if you're running in
no.
What is the default Windows behavior if you're just... Oh, this is Blazor Web View. Oh.
Exactly. So I'm going to hide that control. So this is not a component. This is a WPF control. And so I have a border, a grid that is the rest of the content, the title bar, and the rest of the content itself. So I have a normal size resize area.
So you're doing work. This is research for work. That's what I'm hearing.
What? No, never. I wouldn't use it for that. But as soon as I add the Blazor Web View control back, it's covering the resize area except for the 1 pixel border. So if I did something probably like changing this to 8, then I'd get the normal border size. But we don't want this thick border on the application. We want the application to be like modern applications and go all the way to the edge.
Well,
such as in chat, such as in OBS, such as in Visual Studio.
So wait, so what's the default? You just kind of went over that. That's actually interesting again.
Okay, so the default.
I promise I'm paying attention, but
yeah. So if I didn't use WindowChrome at all, would be this,
the WindowChrome element. Okay.
And I don't replace the button commands or restore the button commands. Then this is what the window would look like by itself. You have this nice wide area for the resize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would do that.
Yeah, I mean, it still feels kind of small, but it's definitely a lot wider than mine. But you can see that it kind of goes outside of the edge of the window.
Yeah. Are you on high DPI mode? I happen to run high DPI.
Am I on high DPI mode? Probably.
'Cause, I mean, like, if this is a 4K screen, or you know what I mean, it behaves slightly
Yeah,
different. Windows is terrible
it's
at high
1080, but
DPI.
yeah.
It is 1080. All right, it's not high DPI. I will just tell you, it gets even worse.
Oh, it gets even
Right.
worse.
I'm
Yay!
reading Michael. I don't know much about this kind of dev, but can you look at the component layout as rendered kind? Like looking at the dev
Kind of. The
tools.
problem is that even if I didn't have any content in the web view control, it would do the same thing. So it's not the content inside of the Blazor app.
Is it it is the oh goodness.
For
You're
this
saying
thing.
it's the presence of the web view. Yeah, spit
Yeah,
it out.
so again, if I make that go away and we look at it, then there is my normal width resize.
So is the web view like clobbering the whatever your thing your
Well,
custom
now that we just
forever.
said that,
By the way, Michael, I maintain that the web has the best tooling for UI development by
I
far.
agree with you.
It
However,
used to
this
be the
is a
case.
desktop app.
That's exactly why he's like, "Hey, can't you just open Chrome tools?" And it's like,
DevTools.
"Well, I wish we could. They don't
Mm,
exist."
we can. Because I'm using Blazor, or when it's not commented out, I can do that. Here's something that I just noticed though, now that you had me tell you what the default behavior is, and now I see a difference. Here is the left edge, or yeah, the inner side of the left edge of the window. And that, right when I hit the left edge, is when I start getting the resize grip area. And then I get my 8 pixels from outside of the window. But when I have the WindowChrome turned on, without the Blazor Web View control, here's the right edge. And as soon as I hit it, it goes from the right edge into the page 8 pixels, or into the window 8 pixels. So this resize area is actually starting inside of the window, and I need it to be outside of the window.
Can you make the can you make the web view yeah, I'm already dirty hacks. Can you just make the web view 8 pixels smaller inside the main thing?
Exactly. So that was what we showed earlier, where we added the margin of 80. So this is left, top, right, bottom. Save. But then we get this disgusting border. And even if I change the background to match the color, which I did earlier, copy. Those need hash save. Then it still looks terrible. And even if I made it a slightly different color, it looks terrible because it's a border, and that makes it not look like a modern application.
If it makes you feel better, WPF in general is just this is me just trying to like move on, basically, like give up and move on. But like every WPF
But
app
I can't
looks
do
unnatural. What is GitHub? GitHub for Windows. Funny enough, it used to be WPF. Back when I did WPF, I allegedly decompiled their source code, found a lot of useful things in it. GitHub for Windows used to be a WPF app, and they looked very unnatural also at the time. Like nothing looks native Windows. I don't know. I think in browsers broke the idea of things looking natural, although now everything looks like a browser. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying like give up, and I'm not a very good encourager.
Oh
To,
yeah.
like keep fighting the problem. I'm like, here's 8 horrible things you can do to fix it, and by fix I mean not fix.
Right. But you know, with with actual tickets on issues like this. Michael
Wow.
is saying you would think you could see the source of the rendered objects. Again, we can only see it for the web portion of it. The source of the objects would be this right here, the XAML markup.
We could like attach a debugger at render time and kind of examine the objects, which is kind of like inspecting the what's it called? How do I say this carefully? Chrome does something that you cannot do as far as I know. It is where the computed and rendered, the computed section where it tells you here's this native HTML
Oh yeah,
element. Its computed
this
margin
thing.
is this much.
Right.
That's the one I'm sitting at that I love. I think he's like kind of asking us, can you figure out, get that view up and look at the border? But the problem is we're interacting with a
Yeah.
native Windows border which exists outside. It's
Oh,
kind of outside of our app, I think.
what does this do for us? It's not taking me anywhere, but when I click, it's acting like it's selecting a thing. Display layout adorners.
Oh goodness, adorners. I remember.
Track focused element.
Here's a dirty secret on our WPF app. We had a decorator adorners on every page, and I was like, why do we? And I was explaining. We did a lunch and learn, and I was explaining our UI, and then I got to the point where it had decorator adorner on our page, and I was like, why do we do this? And our UI person, who was more into XAML than the rest of us, he said, you might need it later. And I was like, what? Like, because it wasn't being used at all. Right. So this is the native window that is pushing the content? Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we man, I haven't heard the word adorner, but it is an okay word. It's just another way of saying a behavior of some kind. Apply stuff, which is like CSS. It actually behaves like CSS, which is
I think this
depends
is
on
actually what he was. No. No,
asking
where
for.
did
Is
it
this
go?
the
This
object
live
tree or
visual
whatever?
tree thing.
Yeah.
It's basically the thingy that makes nodocs go vroom. Adorners.
Nice. Nice.
But yeah, I was expecting to be able to see properties for it, but this is the visual tree itself. But there's like nothing really that I can. Wait, live property viewer. Good grief. Oh my gosh. So there's two different things. We have a live property viewer and we have regular properties for control. I don't want to learn WPF.
Man, no one does. This is where you just close the ticket and say like, "Oh, you're the UI expert," though. I'm sorry to say, like, if that's what they're selling you as, like, I think you just have to be authoritative in your consulting tone and say, authoritatively, I'm the authority, and I'm saying you're not going to get a natural-looking application. And that solves the problem. See, this is.
But then they're going to want to switch. They're going to want to switch project types and be like, all right, rewrite this in a project that has a natural look and feel.
Yeah, WinForms.
Well, I know that all we have to do is start accessing the Windows API directly through pinvoke. I've read about doing that and then being able to target the window and push out the non-client area. But I would prefer to do it without that.
By the way, Tyndall has real things. Like, for me, it's like none of this existed back when I did it. So Tyndall says live props works great until you've got a bound value. Okay, so data binding stuff. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Constant
I'm not data
values
binding
you can
anything
modify.
here.
So maybe that's the difference between live. You can explain it when you're on Tyndall. We can't hear you. But no, I got it. You can't be on it. It's all good. But you should explain it next time because I have no idea about any of this stuff. Bound ones, you are SOL with. Okay, current consulting gig is WPF and it's painful. See, and then I said WinForms, not web forms. WinForms, but maybe you mean web stuff in the WinForms. You can change the border thickness in the property explorer. See, but he was okay. Well,
Yeah.
I think I got that explanation right, which is it is not the fact that it is the fact that the web view is clobbering the border thickness, and and
Like,
okay.
if I added that border, I would want it to be fully transparent, because that's what I think everything else is doing. It's making this border fully transparent. And so here it's transparent. Opacity too.
He actually has a new idea. He says and I assume he means the web view. Put it in a grid with a margin. No, you already
Same
have.
thing.
Does he have
Yeah.
it? Does he have a margin? Okay.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. It's whether I put the margin on the Blazor Web View control, which is the only thing that's covering up this resize area, or on the grid that's surrounding it, or on the border itself, which I just did through the live tree. But in all of those cases, I end up with that ugly, thick border that we don't want.
I still maintain it doesn't have to be native. So I see. This is me saying just double the number of servers, but for WPF, like just double the number, just whatever, doesn't matter. So
Yeah, I'm trying to like the next thing that I thought would help was Windows Arrow, but I don't know if that's around anymore.
AERO, that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
The one from Windows Vista.
nice. I forgot what was Arrow. Wasn't it just like a style guide? Am I
Yep.
crazy?
Yeah. It was a way of making the windows glass-like, have transparency. Because there's an option on main window, or on the whatever this is called, WindowChrome, that is use arrow caption buttons and glass frame thickness. So if I turn glass frame thickness up to 8, then that's supposed to add new thickness. That's supposed to add to the outside of the main window itself.
Okay.
But I have to be able to turn arrow on, and I don't know how to do that.
By the way, Thendel, I have something useful to say, which is, if I'm right, Vista's where they introduced the back button for like Windows apps, and the back button, I don't care about the rest of it. The back button was awesome. Like being able to do like now that every mouse has a back and forward button, that's like, you know what? You need to spend all your time making the back and forward button work. Forget about this.
But it does work.
Just send them instructions.
By default.
It works by default now? All right.
Yeah, because well,
just tell them in my app next week doing it.
Because my app is a Blazor Web View, so it uses the same navigation that any web application uses, including state, including all of that.
Thendel wants it explained from the start, so you're gonna get good at like resetting all of your code about 4 times. You will try and think.
The easy way to explain it is, I needed to have a customizable window so that I can change the title bar color and title bar background color and foreground color at runtime based off of a theme that was selected from the UI. And so there are themes type stuff that you can use with the XAML Community Toolkit or whatever it's called. But we aren't using any external NuGet packages. Everything is in-house, blah, 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 blah. I don't know why. And so the way that I have learned to be able to customize the title bar after the, how many videos was it? 10 videos.
Enough videos to make you sad.
Enough videos to throw up your hands. This is my Jutu. This is my last page of Jutu. So all of the, that's not the last page. Do you not have a button to go to the last page? How weird is that? Okay, anyway. Now I'm saying anyway. Thank you, LiveCoding. This video, everything from here to here is me trying to tackle the customizable title bar problem. And the only way that I've gotten it to work is by using WindowChrome or Windows 10. I can get it to work perfectly in Windows 11 without using WindowChrome. So I'm replacing the entire window itself by using WindowChrome. I restored the functionality of minimize, maximize, restore, and close, the hover on the buttons, the background colors for the hover, background color of the title bar at runtime changes when you go into dark mode, when you go into gaming mode, and when you go into the classic and modern views of the application. Yes, then you typically use dictionaries. You typically use stuff like dynamic resources, resource key equals name of dynamic style key thing, and then you update that dynamic style. So I have that, but you cannot do that to the non-client area of the window, e.g. minimize, maximize, close.
Yeah, we're talking about the Chrome part of it, right? So
yes, exactly.
Not something we have, not something that is, how do I say this carefully? Not something that is
target.
WPF native, right?
Right. You can't target it with a resource dictionary.
It is accessible from WPF or from your app or whatever, from pinvoke if you have to. Hope you don't get there. Again, just tell them what. And this is maybe where, like, if you're the UI expert, you can say, hey, I reviewed all of these public apps that I'm using. Like, my favorite to jump on is like printer apps, which are the worst in the world. But you're like, look, this is our competition. I am doing better than Epson's printer app right now. I'm doing much better. And just be thankful, because this is what you're getting. You're not getting world-class, iOS apps. You're getting competition with Epson. And then you say, here's the Razer drivers thing where they make you log in so your mouse works. Which, by the way, I have a vendetta. I don't buy their products anymore. But I have a product reason, which is I'm not going to log into your website so I can get drivers, so I can use my extra buttons. Anyway, what do we got? So, better than Armory Crate. I don't know what Armory Crate is, but I assume it's a Windows app. Must be a bad Windows app. Like Dell has like a series of terrible apps, but they're actually pretty good in 2023. But historically all these people have public apps, but they're not very good. GitHub for Windows was a WPF app, and it was pretty well polished, but it was also pretty unnatural looking. So that was 2012. So I don't know what it is now. It's Asus, control your stuff and update your jail. Well, okay. So motherboard manufacturers, I give them a pass because they are just, I guess I shouldn't. It's 2023, but I do give them a pass. So there you go. Anyway,
I'll take a pass.
Okay, server's restarting. 1 minute ago, server's restarting. Great.
Ooh.
Sorry, I'm doing my work.
No, you're good. You feel the need to apologize.
I believe it's back up.
So there were a few approaches that I've seen to the thing that I'm trying to do as well. One of them was creating a control template, but I still don't know how to do that for Window. So that one's hard.
I do think you are gonna have, I said so many words there. All right, so again, and I'm not sure we totally told Dindle what was happening, but in my understanding, I'm gonna say this aloud.
Yes.
Your resize the grabber, it worked perfectly for a while, and then you added a web view.
No,
And then,
it works perfectly without WindowChrome.
okay, without WindowChrome. Once
So
you
yeah,
set
let's get rid of
WindowChrome,
WindowChrome. No.
but then your app looks like a WinForms app, which is apparently a bad thing. Which
Oh no,
I
the app
disagree.
works perfectly fine. Yeah. Okay, so I guess I didn't tell you this part. The original app is the app without this customizable title bar. So the title bar just looks like typical whatever your system is set to, background color, um, not focused color, all of that stuff. Ignore this because this is just my control that's on there. But resize handles are normal. And so that's why I started with the ask was be able to change the background color when the user changes to dark theme, for example. And that involves completely replacing WindowChrome. So when I add WindowChrome, then I lose all of the Windows provided title bar, minimize, maximize, close, and restore buttons. So I have to recreate those. That's what this thing is. But the web view control sits on top of the resize area because the resize grip handle area is now inside of the window as opposed to hugging the edge of the window. So if I can find out how to move that over, and I know it's a Blazor Web View control because if I get rid of the Blazor Web View control, then we get our resize handles or resize grip area at the normal width. And we can even see that width change based off of changing this. So I control the width of the resize grip area, but it's inside of the window and not outside of the window.
The Z index. Ah, interesting idea.
Let's see. Well, I think that that's why the apps have, like the regular without WindowChrome has the resize grip on the outside of the window area because the controls inside have the potential to overlap it in the client area. But can we see Z index? I don't think so. Grid Blazor Web View. Computed values. No. Excuse me. No. The other thing it might be called is elevation. Panel.zoom index or set index. What panel?
That's a good question.
Like I have stack panels in here that are controls that I added.
There's a WindowChrome. There is a WindowChrome. Oh goodness. No, I don't know. Oh goodness.
Thing explode. This is not my WindowChrome, but yeah, I could definitely see if WindowChrome inherits from panel. It inherits from freezable, dependency object, dispatcher object, and that's it. Dispatcher object.
Or the Z index for the other thing. That's, I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to have the z-index of WindowChrome be on top of the Blazor Web View control, because that would put the window on top of the thing that it's supposed to display. So my
Depends on
border,
what's visible. Maybe the Chrome is only visible around the border. Try it. Try it. I actually don't know. We're at the bad ideas stage. Like all the good ideas, I should be Googling for you if I'm helping you troubleshoot.
yeah.
He
So
says
the
on
border,
line 18.
yeah, the border, I just did it. The border is the area that is allowing me to see the resize grip. So if I change that to 8, then again, we get the thick border on the window that we don't want.
All right, I have another dirty solution without solving
Yes.
the actual problem.
Yes.
You ready? This is how it's like to work with me. I was known as the person who makes all of the dirty solutions, but they always work. That's why the other people were unhappy, because they always worked. We moved on, and then like we're like, we'll get back to it, but we never did because it was a low priority.
This one is not over.
So
anyway, go ahead.
Border, you can hide it, make it invisible. You know, your ugly border can be invisible until you hover over it. That is an ugly solution. Your border can be invisible.
We would have
until...
a style. That's what you're saying.
Well, I don't know how WPF events work. So, but yeah, if you know, in HTML there's like the colon hover thing.
This would be a style target type border style dot triggers. Gosh.
Oh man, style triggers. That's what's up. WPF. I will tell you, if you're angry at this, like, this is how native app dev works, as far as I can tell. Like, Apple changes their API every 2 months. And then if you're doing an Electron app, you're going to actually have to deal with all of Google Chrome bad parts. I mean, you're kind of doing that already, but like, Electron has its own awful interop story. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, everything's bad, so be encouraged. That's all I'm saying. I do mean that, by the way. Everything that is not web development is going to be unsatisfying, I think. It is my opinion.
I'm doing this from memory, by the way. I did try. I mean, this is the same way that I styled the minimize, maximize, close button background colors on hover. Okay, so the property that we're setting was border thickness, and we're going to change it to 8 on hover.
But how does it? Oh, okay. And he'll be working on the same thing next week. So just
I will, because when I do go back to my work hours, well, I need to prepare to interview someone. But when I do go back to hello,
I'm here.
Content can only be set once. Is it treating a resource dictionary as content?
Awesome. I forget where resource oh man. WPF is its own joy. But
yes, it is. Oh. Window.resources.
Okay.
And then resource dictionary. Whoops. That's why.
This is kind of esoteric knowledge, but like, I mean, there's also esoteric knowledge when you do web development. It just happens to be esoteric knowledge that most of the world knows. So everyone's dealt with it.
But more intuitive. Well, I guess CSS is not really intuitive.
I don't know what, like, I haven't done either WPF or any web development for quite a long time, so I don't know.
It's up.
By the way, React's 10 years old. Blew my mind. I was like, no, that was the new hot framework. I'm like, yep, sure was. I don't know if it was actually 10 years old because 2013 still feels a little early. But anyway, there you go. React, pretty old. Even if you only saw it in 2015, still.
When did that
Vaguely
happen?
aware of it. All right, sorry, we're focused. We are focused.
No, we're not. We're fine.
When did that?
Yeah.
So I'm told there's a React documentary, which is because it's its 10-year anniversary. What about Bootstrap, jQuery? Look, jQuery was great. I have an ebook for jQuery, like 1 point. I want to say some tiny number. It felt great, and then I read about 3 pages of it, like I do all tech books. And I was like, I don't need this right now, and I put it up, and I forgot I owned it. Manning. It was one of the Manning books, back when Manning was a hot publisher. So everything they did was exciting. ASP Classic. I am not old enough to have, how do I say this? I'm not old enough to have real experience on ASP Classic, but maybe this is how everyone did it. We just had, you know, and well, I'm old. Anyway. I mean, look, this is boomer
The
stream,
first
but like,
real project that I worked on for Department of the Army was ASP Classic.
dang, good for y'all.
Terrible.
I managed an intranet as 1% of my job when I did IT, and it was basically go up. It didn't involve ASP. It involved like go update this static content using front page. Paid job you did Perl. This is full boomer chat. Perl is. It's interesting. I wonder why Perl failed, or not failed. Whoa. I wonder why Perl became less popular from its position of dominance. There's like the Perl 6 thing that, I mean, the guy on Slashdot, they were like, when's Perl 6 coming out? And of course, this was on Slashdot. And his name was like Chromium or Chromatic or something. And he would always be like, no, we're definitely working on it and shipping. And it was like, it was a meme in the early 2000s on Slashdot. And of course, Perl 6, like, and of course, no one cares now. Perl was great at text parsing. It was not great at being parsed. I still, like, if it was as useful as it claims and it had as much code out there doing Perl stuff, I can see it, like, still being the scripting language of choice. Because in the modern era, Bash is still terrible. And, like, I'm just starting to say, like, well, Python, you know, if you're going to do cross-platform scripts that run on Bash, or, you know, in the Linux ecosystem, do Python nowadays. But, like, Perl could have been that thing. They could have done things. That's fair, Thendall. That is fair.
Still no. Ooh. Okay. This is telling me that because I added that it's not actually taking on the. Is it static resource?
I told you I'd pay attention. I definitely have not been paying attention.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I've been watching my serial console in Azure Portal. I actually haven't been watching it, but I've been talking about Perl. This is the problem. We interact with chat. They're not real.
No, this is good. This is this is community day. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. No, it is good. And Michael was apologizing for trolling. Never apologize for trolling. As long as everyone can figure it out. Everyone's got to be in on it. And it's all good. So there you go. As long as everyone's in on it. Okay.
So what I think I did, and I could be wrong, is I wrote a rule that targets all borders, border controls, sets the border thickness for all borders to 1, and then on hover, on mouse over, set the border thickness to 8.
Have we tested it? What does it do?
Nothing. A whole lot of nothing. And you can tell that it's not actually targeting this border because we're not even getting the 1 pixel thickness from just the basic setter.
Just to remember when you're struggling through this stuff that WPF is bad, but so is everything. Is this worse than it used to be?
That's worse.
Yeah, because it used to be 8 pixels and now it's just 1 pixel.
This is 0 pixels.
0. Yeah, so you fixed it. Ship it.
It's a not resizable window. That's what it is. I think, something else just popped up in my head that I haven't been able to try. So we have a lot of really weird customized garbage in our WPF app. But I also saw that if you set window window style to none, that it's supposed to help. What does that mean? I have no idea.
Yeah, we're gonna find out right now. But you still also have that weird broken resize trigger, right? Or did you delete that?
I deleted it, yes.
Oh, that looks perfect. Ship it. I'm joking. So, okay, so you said border 8, make it invisible or whatever. I said make it invisible. You said resize it. I would like to attempt the invisible approach, but I will also say I already know a downside
it is.
of the invisible.
It is invisible.
Well, there's this big white border. Is that inside your app?
Yeah, that's the app, the window background itself. And the only way that I could make that invisible is if we used arrow. And that's how this would work. If we were able to figure out how to use arrow, this glass frame thickness here, I would set to the same resize border thickness, and I would set this border to the same thickness, but with a background of transparent, and then all of this white space would be invisible.
Well. Arrow, huh?
Yeah,
and I didn't know that was a real thing. So it is a physical thing. Arrow, I thought Arrow style apps was just a style guide. I'm learning. Today I learned Arrow is a real technology.
This is what I got from 2012. Windows Arrow. Why I'm glad it's dead. Is Arrow available in Windows 10? But the issue might be, if it is available in Windows 10, is it a user setting that they would have to turn on, which we can't make users do?
Oh my goodness, yeah, you shall not. That's too much. Wow. And the idea is, I'm going to keep restating. This is you're my business analyst, and this is why neither of us are business analysts in our job. It's going to be incredibly frustrating because you're going to re-explain it again and again and again.
That's fine.
Times 5. We're going to get it this time. So,
okay.
The problem, as I understand it, is this has nothing to do with the web view being visible or not, right? So you want to customize the window.
To do with the web view being visible.
Well, I was confirming because there was some weird stuff. So, so the first thing is we have customizable WindowChrome because of dark mode and whatnot.
Yes, because of changing styles to well, it's changing the color theme to more than just 2 styles.
Furthermore, you have, is this non-default behavior for the grabber? This is you manually putting a grabber that is more space than Windows gives you.
No. Not
at all. So why is it different? Like, you see what I'm getting at.
Yes. The difference was,
why are you specifying it?
From everything that you showed me, or that you had me walk you through, we found out, I need to change this. We found out, gosh, I need to rerun it. Summon a biscuit. That the resize grip is on the outside of the window itself, of the window that displays the app. So the resize
let me
grip,
ask it this
except
way.
in the title bar.
Resize grip is a standard Windows thing, right? Or like, if you didn't define it, what would be the resize behavior?
This is it. This is it right here. So
but
this is with no customizations.
No customization. Okay.
Right. No Blazor Web View control. The only thing that I have for content is a border with a grid inside of it with one row that's a stack panel, that's this app title, and that's it.
Okay.
And the rest of it is empty. But the resize grip that I got for free just by running the app is, it looks to me like it is 8 pixels from the outside of the border. Because I can move the mouse all the way up to the edge until I hit the border. And then it turns into a resize grip. But when I turn WindowChrome on, then suddenly the resize grip suddenly,
you haven't restarted. Yeah, you got to restart
just now. Suddenly the resize grip is 8 pixels inside. So I can move the mouse up to...
And it's the same color as the background, which is weird and discordant.
Well, it's just transparent.
No, it's transparent.
Yeah. So, and because it's transparent, when I put content inside of here, such as in I don't know, text block, text equals some content, which should
content.
Thank you. Should show. Oh, duh, I'm not running with F5. That's what the issue is. Okay, so some content goes all the way up to the edge, and it does not cover the resize area. However, as soon as I add a Blazor Web View control, and this is going to be, let's do that. Grid, column definitions. You're upside down. Do auto star. Oops, that's column definitions. Wait. Crap. Okay. So now we have 2 columns in our grid.
Okay.
I don't make it, anyway, it doesn't matter because we can see them both in there. Oh,
yeah,
because this is rows.
Columns and rows.
I know the difference between a column and a row.
You identify the column number. I've had to sit with this, and it took anyway. Yeah, you have to. Every time I do a grid, and then it's X and Y, but you always want to say row column, but then the row number is actually
the
Y.
Is the column? Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh man.
Okay, so here we go. We have the 2 controls. This is a native WPF control. This is the Blazor Web View control. Native WPF control, I get the resize grip. That is a decent size.
Okay.
WPF control, it's only at the border that I get the resize grip. That's what the issue is.
Send your users. Okay, so by the way, thank you. This has helped you hopefully a little bit. I'm the Robotug for you to help explain your problem, and I'm doing nothing at all but just sitting there. But that actually does. Okay, so the
Tyren
web view is
Tyren, real quick. Let me just answer Tyren. We did that about 4 times now. If we add a margin 8088 to the Blazor Web View, we get an ugly border. And even if I change the border background color to match the app, then for my work app, it doesn't work because we have a gradient background.
Oh.
Plus we have a theme that has even more, make the border pink.
Oh, that is a gradient. Classic WPF. Do y'all have the
It's a very, very light gradient, and it has a wisp of a graphic.
Okay, that's
And so the wisp of the graphic is also going to get clipped on the edges when we have a solid color or even a gradient brush for the border.
This is horrible. Okay. Okay.
And one more thing, last thing, sorry.
No, yeah, keep doing it.
The last part that we came to that I think is the main issue is if we got rid of WindowChrome, if we didn't specify WindowChrome ourselves, then the resize grip area and I'm also going to get rid of the margin. The resize grip area starts from the outside of the window until you reach the window. And so when we add the WindowChrome, that's the thing that makes the resize grip area come into the window area instead of staying outside. And I think that's where the issue is.
So you okay? Again, okay. We've explained it about 5 times, and I will try and restate it a 6th time. So, with that web view up, you like the well, you don't have WindowChrome on. Can you turn WindowChrome
back to
normal?
It's on.
Okay, or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So, for the majority of your app, which is in a web view, or the important part, you like how it looks right now. However, the problem is that the gripper does not appear where it used to. Or let me just say, the gripper does not appear as expected inside of the window. Yes. That makes resizing hard because you're one of those apps, which by the way, everyone does this too. Everyone has this issue with like resize grippers. Okay, so you want the gripper to be more accessible from inside, just the few pixels inside the window. And you've explained the cases where that does work. WindowChrome off. Wait, does WindowChrome off? Does it work better? I don't think so. But then the text view is the best example, or the text whatever. Text box is the best example of like how it works for native WPF stuff. But for web view, it doesn't work. So, and it's okay. Yeah, everything handles it. Native WPF handles it, but this web view doesn't handle it. Yep. All right. I have another dirty idea. Okay. Yes. No, wait. So we've talked about is it possible to nest your web view inside like a panel or something like that?
Yeah, it is.
You must have done that.
No, I haven't. But this grid would be that panel. So if I made this a stack panel instead.
But can you make something so panels aren't visible, right? Like I guess if they have margins, technically they're visible.
Yeah, if you give them a border, if you give them.
Yeah. So could you make 8 pixels of, and I'm not saying margin, I'm saying position the web view inside the panel somehow.
It is currently just now.
So why oh, and you know what? That would just end up with that dumb
this thing
background color. It's basically the same as having a margin. Why am I talking my way through that? All right, sweet. I talked myself out of that.
No, you're good. you at least understood where the issue was. It keeps being an issue.
Which no one else has. No one else has. All right, the problem is the color he wants is from Blazor.
Right.
So he can't get the color inside.
So I have a theme picker in Blazor. I changed that theme to one of these other ones that has whatever random color, and I want the title bar to change to that random color, which is a WPF Windows controlled window. No idea how to say that. And so with everything that I have read about and looked at, It's all pointing to I need to use WindowChrome or the WinUI 3 API or pinvoke to go all the way down into the weeds of the window.
Win32 stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Make a quick demo and log a bug to the Blazor team. Okay, that's a fair point.
I
And by the way,
have
this
like
is all
80
stalling.
quick demos.
Well, make a and file a bug to the Blazor team and see what they say. That sounds fair, and it also lets you delay. You're like, look, because I have some issues that where I just say, well, I filed a bug with the vendor, and I can juggle yet another thing, which reminds me, I need to juggle yet another server.
You say that, but I'm already juggling this plus. Like right now, I see 22 items that are currently assigned to me. And then I just got 3 more in my inbox.
Yeah, well, and see, this is where, yeah, I don't know. This is your job management. I'm gonna, I also have about 30, pretty much, I would say 10 major projects that are in my backlog, but we just, we manage it, urgency first. So anyway, having a dirty solution, which the ugly border is something. I'm trying to make the border less ugly.
True.
All right.
It is true.
Let's talk about the solution using the border, because that's my pet project. So that's my pet solution.
This one here is the example of using WinUI 3.
Yeah.
Where you can even see here that the border is appearing, or that the resize grip area is appearing outside of the border. So that works as expected. Inside. Title bar is customized completely. Even the caption buttons are customized. They have different background colors on hover. They're rounded, etc. I tried that in our app, and it just doesn't work.
So, oh yeah, you better not commit anything you've just done. I'm just trying to make that 8-pixel visible border work. So we could have a situation where that, if they demand, say this is where you're like, look, we have an easy solution, and we have one that requires an infinite amount of research or an unknown amount of research.
Yeah.
And spikes. I demand a week to do spikes, and then after that week, I will tell you what we do next, which is give up. But like, if you can make the 8-pixel visible border work, how would it work? It would have to be it would have to follow the gradient you have for the WindowChrome, right?
Correct. Well, which we can do, and that's fine. But the thing that I can't do is get the image that is on the background to then stretch out to it. Which is a very subtle image. It's in the background. When you're in one of the skins, it's completely covered, so you can't even see it on the left side. When you're in a different skin, it goes all the way across. Yeah. So we have 2 skins, 3 themes, 4 themes, right? Yeah. Good times. But yes, this is how it would work here. Background color is what you said.
Well, I'm trying to go beyond background color. I'm trying to say make the background acceptable. And I'm using the term background as the thing to mean.
Right.
Or make that margin acceptable. And I don't mean using a simple background color. So I'm trying to think,
well, yeah.
like, is it
imagine that I'm using
something?
A border gradient or a gradient brush that matches the background perfectly.
So assuming pixels are pixels, whether you're in the web view or not, you could do something hacky. See, I'm the king of hacky solutions. You can have your Blazor. All right, so all this comes from within the Blazor app. It says use the gaming thing.
Yeah. Click on
which
this.
Is ridiculous. No one should do that.
But
gaming,
it's not really an option.
No one should choose the game.
You can't choose gaming theme. If you're on a gaming machine, you get it, and you can only use that one. The other machines can have a dark mode, light mode, high contrast.
Perfect. So I'm laughing because so you're actually, I think it's funny. Because I'm also embarrassed by all the neon. I am old enough to be embarrassed by the neon. Like my nephews when they were like 12. I think they've grown out of it, by the way. But when they were like 12 or 10, they were like, "Your gaming laptop's sweet." And I was like, "No, it's embarrassing. Trust me." They're like, "But the lights are so cool." I'm like, "Oh no, no."
Oh,
Anyway,
you're
all
gonna
right. So we're
see
talking
lights
about.
eventually on if I keep streaming. You're gonna see lights on my stream. My background is gonna be neon lights just for you.
Well, no. I have the colored lights for the streaming setup, which I stream regularly, by the way.
All the time. Check out
See,
LiveCoding
we
next
both
time he
laughed.
streams.
You knew. Yeah, live coding or not live coding, as the one person said, which was apropos. All right, so here we go. I'm trying to get through this. So
Yes,
if they
go
have the
ahead.
gaming theme, it has a background image. And you shall, if you have this border, which is visible, which is, again, still not the best idea to have a visible border, but it's okay if you can have it match the interior of the background of the Blazor
Right.
app.
Which it does.
So my next thing I would tell you is, this is ugly, but you know, have the background of your whatever, your Blazor, your web view, start on pixel number 9 and have it, say start this background, or you know what I'm saying, like adjust it so that your background image starts on pixel number 9, and then separately take that background image and use it on whatever encloses your web view.
I know what you
And
mean. I definitely understand what you mean.
Oh, Tyren says it won't work. Look, it's horrible. Even if
Yeah,
it works, they're
I
like,
don't know
what
how
have
to
you done?
use an image. Like the way that I can think to do it is I have another WPF control that is an image control.
Yeah.
And that sits behind the Blazor Web View control, but on top of the border. And it goes beyond the edges, or, just sits on top of the border. The problem is that the Blazor Web View lives inside of the border control.
No.
Which is crazy.
Oh, you put this thing inside the border control.
Yeah. Because the border is just a control that allows you to have a border.
So you're saying the border control, if it's transparent, will show whatever's behind it.
Yes. So we could
So I'm saying put this image behind it.
Yeah. So we would have an image where we would have a... What would we have? I don't know how to put two things on top of each other in WPF, but I'm sure there's a way. We would have an image control somehow that has the entire picture, which is an SVG, by the way, so it adjusts to the size of the
slightly
screen.
Off. That'll be sweet. Math rounding errors. I can't wait. Because it's not exact pixels, right? That'll be great.
Right. And then the actual thing that has the Blazor Web View control. I mean, that is a possibility.
I would float it, and see, this is what I do. I actually implement that. And then I put what I call an apology comment at the top of that image control. I would put an apology comment. I put my name and date and say why we did it. Right. And apologize. And then I get a reputation at work.
So Tyren is thinking that the image control would still take over the mouse. And I don't think so, because the image control is a native WPF control. The only one that is interrupting the mouse is the Blazor Web View.
Solved it. I'm totally solved. I'm joking. I have no idea. Oh, dang it. I need to check on my stuff.
Yeah, and I need to...
We're patching. You need to head out as well.
Yeah. I have to write some interview questions.
Oh, hey. All right. No. Okay. All right. Can I give you my 2 minutes of interview tips?
Of course. Do it.
Here we go. I have not done many phone screens, which I assume, is it phone screen or in person? Have they already done a phone screen?
Zoom. Or Teams. Video.
Have they already done a phone screen, though?
Most likely. It would have been the recruiter. It's just dumb because it's a large company, so they have their consultants do the technical part of the interview.
Yeah, at the other... No, I get it. I've never done... Anyway, I have done a few. All right, so here we go. Number 1, they need a warm-up question just to get them talking and less nervous. Just a warm-up question that is unimportant. but is not illegal according to equal employment
What is
laws.
your name?
So you
No,
can't ask
I'm
them about their
kidding.
wife and kids, I guess. So anyway, warm up question. That's number 1. Get them warmed up, talking. Number 2, ask them about something on the resume, which I think is better than a question about solid. All right, good luck.
Mhm.
So there you go.
I
Because
like
by
it.
the way, someone asked me about solid, and I had an answer, and I think they didn't understand it as well as I did. I think I got that answer wrong. So that was
I
fun.
just, yeah.
Yeah. Free Twitch sub equals guaranteed pass on to the next phase, but there you go.
Question: Who is Dukasoft? Only the best bot, non-bot ever.
Yeah. So those are my only things, and we should talk about that because I haven't actually done that many interviews. Funny enough, the hardest interview phone screen I did, I took a full hour. It was a 30-minute screen, and he never gave me a single technical answer, and I kept digging. And the other guy who was with me in the tech interview was like, "All right, you got to go," but he was like, "Oh man, you just got to say no. I didn't. You got to let it go." I was like, "But he might be really good. He's just like a 60-year-old man with double the experience we have." But he didn't answer a single question. And it wasn't like he did bad. He just didn't answer anything. Like it was like he was enlightened and we weren't, and he was just in a different plane. Anyway, all right, you got to go.
I like it. Yeah, it's case sensitive Dukasoft. No.
Also, do
Yeah.
they have a GitHub? You'll know who you're interviewing.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have the resume, I have the job description, and I need to.
They probably don't have any GitHub projects, which is not a negative thing. It's not a positive thing,
Oh
but I
yeah,
mean
yeah.
it's a normal
It's
thing.
just helpful.
Yeah, it's normal. And but if you can like just dig into their GitHub, that's way
Yeah,
better.
I
And then
typically
you
do
know
that.
you
The
don't
thing
know if
is,
they're just on
I'm not
someone's
HR
repo.
anymore. I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, well,
I don't
just
want to
yeah.
interview
Well,
people
look,
anymore.
this is part of your job. You gotta it. Your job is exactly what you allow it to be at your place of
Yeah.
employment.
Well, you know what my place of
Yeah,
employment is, and you know what
yeah.
it's like here.
I
So.
am aware of what it's like, which is why I'm telling you, you've gotta basically. It does not exactly threaten to quit, but basically say, "I'm here to bill 40 hours a week," and then they'll say, "Well, you're not getting advancement," and you're like, "All right,
Yeah, I'm not
that
trying to
is."
get advancement though. I want to do the client work 40 hours a week, and then my
You
personal
can
time
you
is
can
my
live that
personal
life.
time.
You can live that life. You just have to be very firm, and there's a lot of salesmen in the home
Yeah,
office.
you
So
did
good
say that.
luck.
You said that at the very beginning, and I have taken it to heart, and I am doing it. Just not as firm as I could be doing.
It,
Like
it, it
I
really is
told
as
the
much.
person that was like, "Can you do this interview?" And I was like, "I would prefer not to because I am very focused on the work that I'm doing."
Right. So that is a good thing. So that you said I actually can't next time. There you go. So you compromised because you took the interview. You're like, I assume y'all were desperate, and I can't anymore. My client is actually 40 plus at this point,
Yeah, because it is.
but that's a different thing. But yeah, it's all negotiation with the home office, and they're very good negotiators. So good luck with that. I hated. Uh,
It's just that like
I won't
it's
encourage that.
the person that's asking me is the recruiter that recruited me.
Well, I mean
It's like, oh
they're
god.
used to it.
Yeah.
Uh, the rest of your coworkers are surviving somehow. You can ask around. I don't know.
Oh my
And
gosh,
of
I
course,
know how they're
culture differs,
surviving.
but
My integrity doesn't let me survive the same way they do.
but they're still like maybe they're just saying a hard no or ignoring the emails.
Yeah.
Like they might just be doing something as simple as ignoring the emails from their recruiter.
Right.
All right. Well, this is being recorded, so this was a great little
I'm
pep
okay with that.
talk. They can
Because
point
all
to
of the
later.
views and opinions that I am expressing are my own and not necessarily the views and opinions of Sajetti. How's that? You good?
I will just say, yeah, good luck, and it's all negotiation, and I think compromise is okay. I don't, I agree. I understand. Like, I hate poking people about things or saying no or whatever. So I get like you did part of the job. You said, hey, I really don't want to do these interviews. Like, and then next time you can say no, and they know that the last time you didn't want to do it, and they made you do it anyway. So that's compromise. All right.
Well,
So
that's good advice.
perfect
That's
work.
really good advice. I'll take that. So the next time that they ask me, I can just give a more firm no.
There you go.
I'm
But you had it in you all along. See,
I
you
did.
did it. You just needed to. Anyway. All
It
right.
still
I will
makes
check
me.
you later.
Ugh.
Actually, do you have to go? We can do
I
the
do.
interview questions.
Yeah, we can do the interview questions here now.
Right. They are watching. All right. I'll check you later.
All right. Ciao.
Bye.
And thank you all for being here today. Tick Tick Boom just came in. Hello, Tick Tick Boom. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. We were just talking with LiveCoding because I was running through an issue with this WPF app that we were talking through together, coming up with some ideas. Like the same idea kept coming up with this margin because it's the only thing that's working. I honestly think we really just need some way to get the resize grip to show up outside of the window, and it would all work. But I just keep doing research, keep trying different approaches for customizing the title bar, maybe just completely going away from using WindowChrome if I have to dive into using pinvoke anyway. May as well. By the way, did you know, and this is a tip for any of you that are doing desktop development work for .NET, there is a NuGet package. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I'll try to remember. If any of you are interested, just send me a message in Discord. But a NuGet package that pretty much wraps all of your pinvokes in a library that is C#. So instead of needing to remember what order the properties are in, what types they're in for all of your pinvoke for this Win32 method, you just call a C# function. Simple as that. And somebody was nice enough to put that out there for the public use in Git and NuGet packages. But just let me know if you're interested in that, and I'll try to get back to you on Discord. But that's going to be it for my stream, for my day, it's lunchtime. What? For the stream for the day. So definitely feel free to hop into our Discord. Thank you, Dukasoft. And link is right there in chat. Even those of you in the YouTube world that are watching this in the future, feel free to use that link, https://discord.gg/MD lowercase DZU 5 capital T lowercase X to hop into our Discord. BitGamey is on, so we're going to go ahead and start a raid to head on over to him. Raid BitGamey. And it's kind of funny because I have Twitch open in the background, but I didn't really see him. Oh, he just went live 10 minutes ago. Cool. So we will hop over to his channel. BitGamey's a really, really cool guy. Other than that, I'll post this video sometime after 24 hours to YouTube. And we did Discord, we did YouTube, and we did the project. I did nothing in the project to update it, so current version that's in GitHub is the latest version. Okay, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday. I might be switching will I? Monday's a holiday for my client, but it's not for me. But should be back on Monday. Maybe not. I might not be back on Monday. I'll let you guys know on Discord. But I might be switching my schedule. I might be switching Wednesdays to either Tuesday or Thursday. I keep getting new random meetings scheduled during the time that I would normally be, that I already have blocked out on my calendar, I should say. But anyway, that's it. Thank you. Ciao for now. See you later. Juice, and flyers. Flyers? What flyers? What do you mean? What do you mean? Okay, bye.